Walk through any modern supermarket and you'll encounter rows of identical vegetables, polished tomatoes, perfect lettuce, standardized carrots, all sanitized and safe. But step back 5 centuries to the bustling markets and sun-drenched fields of Renaissance Italy, and you discover a world where food was alive with possibility. Gardens weren't just sources of calories, they were pharmacies, art studios, and survival kits all rolled into one verdant tapestry. Before industrial agriculture narrowed our palates to a handful of supermarket staples, Renaissance Italian farmers cultivated an extraordinary diversity of plants. These weren't merely ingredients. They were lifelines that nourished bodies, healed ailments, and carried the weight of tradition. From noble thistles gracing aristocratic banquets to humble weeds that sustained peasant families, each plant told a story of ingenuity, resilience, and flavor. Today, many of these botanical treasures have vanished from our tables, dismissed as weeds or forgotten in favor of easier-to-grow alternatives. Yet their legacy remains, waiting in wild corners and specialty gardens for those curious enough to seek them out. Join us on a journey through 15 remarkable plants that once defined Italian cuisine, sustained entire communities, and might just hold the keys to our culinary future. Dismissed today as a common weed, purslane was Renaissance Italy's original superfood. This succulent thrived in the harsh conditions of southern Italy, requiring virtually no water, while delivering extraordinary nutritional value. Its thick, jade-colored leaves offered a tart, lemony crunch that cut through rich Mediterranean dishes like a natural palate cleanser. Renaissance cooks understood what modern science confirms. Purslane contains more omega-3 fatty acids than any other leafy green, along with vitamins A, C, and E, plus essential minerals. They called it a blood purifier and stomach soother, intuitively recognizing its anti-inflammatory properties. Mixed with olive oil and vinegar, it brightened heavy summer meals and provided crucial cooling relief during sweltering Italian summers. The plant's genius lay in its simplicity. While aristocrats fussed over elaborate cardoon preparations, peasants could harvest purslane from roadside cracks and poor soil patches. It grew faster than weeds because it essentially was one, required no irrigation, and could be eaten raw or lightly cooked. Yet, despite its resilience and nutritional density, purslane faded from cultivation as agriculture industrialized, relegated to the state of garden pest rather than a culinary treasure. Long before politics complicated its reputation, hemp was Renaissance Italy's miracle crop, a single plant that served as grocery store, textile factory, and medicine cabinet. The seeds, containing negligible psychoactive compounds, were packed with complete proteins and essential fatty acids, making them invaluable during lean seasons. Farmers in the Po Valley cultivated vast hemp fields not for recreation, but for survival. The seeds were ground into nutritious flour, pressed into cooking oil, or stirred whole into porridges and soups for their nutty flavor and substantial nutrition. The oil burned cleanly in lamps, seasoned pans, and formed the base for medicinal salves. Meanwhile, the strong fibers became ropes for ships, sails for trade vessels, and coarse but durable clothing for working families. This remarkable versatility made hemp economically vital across all social classes. While nobles might prefer olive oil for cooking, hemp oil provided an accessible alternative for common families. The plant's ability to grow in marginal soils while actually improving them through nitrogen fixation made it a cornerstone of sustainable Renaissance agriculture. Renaissance farmers understood something modern gardeners often miss. The turnip's real treasure wasn't its root, but its vitamin-packed greens. This dual-purpose vegetable provided both stored winter calories and fresh nutrients throughout the growing season. The strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. Farmers harvested outer leaves continuously while the root developed underground, maximizing yield from minimal space. The peppery greens, rich in vitamins A and C, plus calcium, appeared in countless peasant dishes, thick soups, savory pies, and braised vegetables that transformed simple ingredients into nourishing meals. The roots themselves served as reliable winter sustenance, storing well in cool cellars and providing essential carbohydrates when fresh produce was scarce. Some regions even fermented turnips in clay vessels, creating tangy preserved vegetables that added probiotics and complex flavors to monotonous winter diets. This practical genius, extracting maximum nutrition from a single hardy plant, exemplified Renaissance resourcefulness. While artichokes offered their tender hearts, cardoons demanded dedication for their blanched stems. This towering thistle required an elaborate cultivation ritual. Farmers carefully wrapped the massive plant in straw or buried them in soil to achieve the pale, tender stems prized by Renaissance nobility. The effort yielded extraordinary rewards. Properly blanched cardoons delivered a unique flavor, somewhere between artichoke and celery, with a satisfying crunch and subtle bitterness. Braised with olive oil and garlic or fried into crispy fritters, they became centerpieces of elaborate banquets, symbols of both agricultural mastery and refined taste. Bartolomeo Scapi, chef to popes and cardinals, devoted multiple recipes to cardoon preparations in his monumental cookbook. The vegetable's presence on nobles' tables wasn't mere ostentation. It represented the Renaissance ideal of transforming raw materials into something beautiful and sophisticated through skill and patience. The artichoke's armored appearance perfectly matched its culinary challenge. Beneath layers of thorny bracts lay the tender heart, a prize that demanded both skill to prepare and patience to eat. This made it a perfect Renaissance luxury, valuable precisely because it required effort. Cultivated primarily in Tuscany and Sicily, artichokes marked the arrival of spring and the end of winter's scarcity. Their earthy, nutty flavor with hints of sweetness and subtle bitterness made them worthy of the elaborate preparation rituals. Renaissance cooks boiled them whole, served them with rich butter sauces, or stuffed them into elaborate meat dishes. The eating process itself became ceremonial, peeling away layer after layer, savoring each tender morsel, building anticipation for the ultimate prize of the heart. This ritualistic consumption fit perfectly with Renaissance ideals of refinement, patience, and the appreciation of life's finer pleasures. Raw quince presented a paradox, rock hard, astringent, and nearly inedible fresh from the tree. But Renaissance cooks knew its secret. Slow cooking transformed this golden fruit into something magical. The hard flesh softened into rosy tenderness while releasing an intoxicating floral aroma that could perfume an entire kitchen. This transformation made quince the perfect metaphor for Renaissance artistry, the ability to reveal hidden beauty through skill and patience. Cooked with honey or wine, it became cotignata, or quince paste, and marmolata, thick preserves that lasted through winter while providing concentrated sweetness and complex flavor. Beyond preservation, quince carried deep symbolic meaning. Served at weddings to represent fertility and new beginnings, it embodied the Renaissance belief in food as more than mere sustenance. Its powerful fragrance and preserving qualities made it invaluable before the advent of refrigeration. However, its labor-intensive preparation eventually led to its decline in favor of easier-to-prepare fruits. Growing wild in fields and roadsides throughout Italy, mallow was democracy in plant form, available to all, gentle in flavor, and remarkably healing. Its rounded leaves and delicate purple flowers concealed powerful mucilage compounds that soothed irritated tissues throughout the body. Renaissance herbalists called mallow good for all inflammations, and they weren't far wrong. The mild-tasting leaves thickened soups while providing natural medicine for coughs, sore throats, and digestive complaints. Unlike bitter medicinal herbs that required honey or wine to make them palatable, mallow's gentle nature meant it could be eaten freely by children and adults alike. The plant's accessibility made it a cornerstone of folk medicine. Peasants who couldn't afford exotic spices or professional physicians could gather mallow freely, using it both as food and medicine. This dual role, nourishment and healing combined, exemplified the Renaissance understanding of food as medicine, centuries before modern functional foods became trendy. With its fuzzy leaves and striking star-shaped blue flowers, borage brought both beauty and function to Renaissance gardens. Its cucumber fresh flavor made it popular in salads and cooling drinks, while its medicinal reputation as a courage giver made it essential for soldiers and scholars facing challenges. The bright blue flowers weren't merely decorative, they floated in wines at wedding celebrations and garnished elaborate banquets, adding visual drama to special occasions. Meanwhile, the leaves provided refreshing relief in hot weather, their crisp texture and cooling taste making them natural additions to summer meals. Renaissance physicians credited borage with lifting spirits and driving away melancholy, making it an early mood enhancer. Whether this was due to actual compounds or simply the joy of eating something so beautiful and refreshing, the psychological benefits were real. Borage represented the Renaissance ideal of engaging all the senses, taste, sight, and even emotional well-being, through food. Fenugreek offered Renaissance cooks a complex flavor puzzle, simultaneously bitter, sweet, nutty, and aromatic with hints of maple syrup. This intensity meant a little went a long way, making it economical while providing distinctive taste and medicinal benefits. The young leaves served as potent salad greens or cooking herbs, while the seeds became valuable spices and medicines. Renaissance midwives particularly valued fenugreek for increasing milk production in nursing mothers, while physicians prescribed it for digestive complaints and respiratory ailments. Its warming properties made fenugreek especially popular in winter remedies and hearty stews. The seed's complex aroma, that distinctive maple-celery combination, made dishes memorable and satisfying. Though fresh fenugreek greens have largely disappeared from modern Italian cuisine, the seeds remain globally cherished, testament to the plant's enduring value. Despite its misleading name, it's neither from Jerusalem nor related to artichokes. This North American tuber found eager acceptance in Renaissance Italian gardens. Its ease of cultivation and nutty sweet flavor made it an immediate hit among farmers looking to expand their crop diversity. The tubers grew prolifically with minimal care, thriving in various soils while producing substantial harvests. Their crisp texture when raw and creamy consistency when cooked made them versatile ingredients, boiled like potatoes, roasted for concentrated sweetness, or mashed into satisfying purees. What set Jerusalem artichokes apart was their unique carbohydrate composition. Rich in inulin rather than starch, they provided sustained energy while being easier to digest than regular potatoes. Renaissance physicians noted their beneficial effects on digestion, though they couldn't have known about the prebiotic properties modern science has revealed. While common wheat gained popularity, spelt remained the reliable fallback grain, hardy, nutritious, and dependable even in poor soils and harsh weather. This ancient hulled wheat represented agricultural wisdom accumulated over millennia. Spelt's natural husk protection made it resistant to pests and diseases that could devastate other grains. Its slightly nutty flavor and excellent gluten structure produced hearty, satisfying breads that sustained working families. The grain also made nutritious porridges and provided substance to soups and stews. Renaissance farmers appreciated spelt's ability to improve soil while producing consistent yields. Its deep roots brought nutrition to the surface, while its nitrogen-fixing properties enriched the earth for subsequent crops. This sustainability, combined with excellent nutrition and storage qualities, made spelt invaluable for food security. Although common today, asparagus was once a luxury that signaled the end of winter to Renaissance nobility. Its tender spears required careful cultivation in raised beds and precise timing for optimal harvest, making it a symbol of agricultural sophistication and seasonal awareness. The brief harvest window, just a few weeks of prime cutting, made fresh asparagus precious. Renaissance cooks understood the value of simplicity with such delicate ingredients, serving spears lightly boiled with butter, olive oil, or grated Parmesan to highlight rather than mask their unique flavor. Bartolomeo Scappi's inclusion of multiple asparagus recipes in his papal cookbook demonstrated its status among the culinary elite. The vegetable's association with spring renewal and its distinctive taste made it a cherished, seasonal luxury, marking the calendar as surely as any church feast day. These long, pale radishes brought the first sharp bite of spring to Renaissance tables, their crisp texture and pungent flavor cutting through the heaviness of preserved winter foods. Quick growing and reliable, they provided fresh produce when other vegetables were still developing. Eaten raw in thin slices, they served as natural palate cleansers alongside rich cheeses or roasted meats. Their peppery heat stimulated appetite and digestion after months of heavier fare. Renaissance physicians valued them for their purifying properties and their ability to awaken the body after winter's dormancy. The simplicity of white radishes, requiring no cooking, minimal preparation, and brief growing time, made them accessible to all social classes. Yet their sharp, clean flavor provided genuine culinary value, proving that the best ingredients often needed the least manipulation. While herbs like basil and oregano gained widespread fame, summer savory carved out a specific but crucial niche in Renaissance cooking. Its sharp, peppery flavor with hints of thyme and mint made it the go-to herb for legume dishes, where it both enhanced flavor and aided digestion. Renaissance cooks discovered that summer savory's compounds helped reduce the flatulence associated with beans and other legumes, a practical consideration in an era without modern digestive aids. This functional benefit, combined with its bold flavor, made it indispensable for the bean-heavy diets of working families. The herb also enhanced roasted meats, game preparations, and savory stuffings, providing a rich counterpoint to rich flavors. Its intensity meant a little went far, making it economical while delivering memorable taste. Though never universally popular as milder herbs, summer savory maintained devoted followers who appreciated its distinctive character. No Renaissance garden was complete without broad beans, the foundational legume that fed Italy across all social classes. These hardy annuals provided essential protein when meat was scarce, expensive, or forbidden during religious fasting periods. Young, tender beans eaten raw with pecorino cheese and olive oil represented one of Italy's most enduring food combinations, simple, seasonal, and perfect. More mature beans transformed into hearty soups, thick purees, and satisfying stews that sustained working families through long days of physical labor. Beyond human nutrition, broad beans serve crucial agricultural functions. They fix nitrogen in the soil, enriching it for subsequent crops, while their foliage provided valuable livestock fodder. This triple utility, human food, soil improvement, and animal feed, made them indispensable to sustainable Renaissance farming systems. These 15 plants represent far more than historical curiosities. They embody principles we're only now rediscovering: biodiversity, sustainability, nutrition density, and the integration of food with medicine. Renaissance Italians understood that eating well meant eating diversely, seasonally, and purposefully. Today's industrial agriculture has traded this diversity for convenience and profit margins. We've gained year-round availability and lower prices, but lost flavors, nutrients, and ecological resilience. Many of these forgotten vegetables offer solutions to modern challenges: climate change adaptation, soil health, nutritional deficiencies, and food system sustainability. Perhaps it's time to look backward to move forward. These plants survived because they worked, nutritionally, agriculturally, and culinarily. They fed empires, inspired artists, and sustained communities for centuries. In our rush towards technological solutions, we may have overlooked the wisdom growing quietly in ancient gardens. The next time you encounter purslane pushing through sidewalk cracks or cardoon growing wild in a neglected field, pause. You're looking at living history, plants that once graced papal tables and peasant stews alike. They're waiting patiently for the Renaissance revival, ready to enrich our plates and nourish our understanding of what it means to eat well. In rediscovering these forgotten vegetables, we might just rediscover ourselves, our connection to the seasons, the soil, and the timeless human art of transforming simple plants into sustenance, medicine, and joy. The Renaissance garden is calling. Will we answer?